Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Sana Jabin, and I am here once again with another lecture of mycology and plant pathology course. And this lecture is about Ascomycota. And this is the outline of our syllabus. And the position of Ascomycota lies in the fungal systematics part. We will be studying about its general characters, habitat, and ecology, its importance, and various types of rooting bodies in Ascomycota and its classification. Then we come to know the position of other orders that lies in the Ascomycota, which we will be studying in next lectures. So let's start with the introduction and general characters of Ascomycota. Ascomycota lies in kingdom fungi because the cell wall of the fungi in Ascomycota is composed of chitin. They are commonly known as sac fungi. सैक फंजाई हम इन्हें इसलिए कहते हैं कि इनके जो सेक्सुअल स्पोर्स हैं वो एक सैक लाइक स्ट्रक्चर जिसे हम एस्कस कहते हैं उसके अंदर प्रोड्यूस होंगे। तो ऐसे ऑर्गेनिजम्स जिनके अंदर स्पोर एक सैक के अंदर प्रोड्यूस होंगे इन सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन उन्हें हम एस्कोमाइकोटा फंजाई में क्लासिफाई करते हैं। तो ये आप देख सकते हैं स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एसआई। तो एस्कस जो हैं वो डिफरेंट शेप्स के हो सकते हैं। दे कुड बी सिलेंड्रिकल, ovoid, or slightly oblong. So these are different types of SI that contains number of ascospores. Some species contain 8 ascospores. In some species only 4 ascospores are present. So SI has some other characters, like some ascus have only one wall, which are known as unitunicate SI, and some have two walls that are known as bitunicate SI. So the tunica or the number of walls are an important feature that classify this species in Ascomycota. Ascomycota is the largest phylum in kingdom fungi. It consists of more than 64,000 species, and the hyphae in the species are septate. Septate means cross walls are present in the hyphae, and these septa are simple in comparison with the Basidiomycota, where the septa are dolichopore. Dolichopore means they have swelling around the pore, so they are known as dolichopore septum. And in Basidiomycota, another important feature, that is clamp connection. Clamp connections are present at the septa of Basidiomycetes fungi, while in Ascomycota, clamp connections are absent. The mycelium is dikaryotic. Dikaryotic stage is most prevalent in these species, while monokaryotic phase is also present when the spore germinate. Primary mycelium consists of only one type of nucleus, and it constitutes the monokaryotic mycelium, and immediately when they come together and they are compatible, they form dikaryotic mycelium, and dikaryotic mycelium keeps on growing inside the soil until they constitute a fruiting body, which also consists of dikaryotic mycelium. But when they produce spores, these dikaryotic mycelium, in these dikaryotic mycelium, the nuclei combine, and then meiosis takes place. As a result, 4 haploid nuclei are formed that constitute the spores of these species. They reproduce by conidia, buds, and spores. Conidia are asexually reproducing spores. Conidia are thick-walled and produce externally. So when we talk about the sac fungi, we are talking about their sexual spores. But the conidia are asexual spores. They do not form inside the sac. They are externally producing structures. So conidia are asexually spores that produce externally. These in comparison with the sexual spores that produce inside the sac. So the sac fungi is named after their sexual reproduction. Some species form buds like yeast. You have studied the life cycle of yeast in earlier classes. So budding is common in these fungi, and they also produce spores. These spores could be sexual spores or asexual spores. Sexual spores are formed inside the sac, while asexual spores are formed outside the sac. An important feature of Ascomycetes fungi is the presence of voronin bodies in the mycelium. तो ये जो वोरोनिन बॉडीज हैं ये इनकी माइसीलियम में सेप्टा के करीब करीब प्रेजेंट होती हैं और दीज आर इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंस बॉडीज. तो मैंने आपको जैसे बताया कि इनके अंदर सिंपल सेप्टा होगा और सिंपल सेप्टा जो है वहां से डिफरेंट किस्म के मॉलिक्यूल्स या आयंस या कंटेंट्स एक सेल से दूसरे सेल में ट्रांसफर होने के लिए इनको कुछ फोर्सेस की जरूरत पड़ती है. तो कुछ बुक्स में इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन है कि ये जो वोरोनिन बॉडीज हैं ये मॉलिक्यूल्स या आयंस को एक सेल से दूसरे सेल में ट्रांसफर होने में हेल्प करते हैं. इनकी सेल वॉल काइटिन की बनी होगी और कुछ स्पीशीज ऐसे हैं जिनके अंदर लो अमाउंट ऑफ काइटिन होगी. तो जिनके अंदर लो अमाउंट ऑफ काइटिन होगा उसे हम हेमी एस्कोमाइसीटस फंजाई भी कह सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल यीस्ट सैक्रोमाइसीस दे हैव लो अमाउंट ऑफ काइटिन एज कंपेयर टू अदर ग्रुप्स ऑफ एस्कोमाइकोटा. तो मोस्टली इनके अंदर काइटिन प्रेजेंट होगा. तो इन यीस्ट मैनिन्स एंड ग्लूकेंस मोस्टली विद लिमिटेड काइटिन. Archaeascomycetes have very low amount of chitin in their cell walls. So Archaeascomycetes also a class of Ascomycota that contains very low amount of chitin as compared to other higher forms of Ascomycota. Their somatic structures could be single-celled, just like the yeast cells are single-celled. Mycelial means cluster of hyphae. They could be dimorphic. Dimorphic means in some cases one species form a cellular mass and when its habitat changes it becomes the mycelial form. So dimorphic forms are also present and it is noted that inside the host these species form the cellular structures and outside the host they form mycelial strands. So the dimorphic stages produce mycelium as well as yeast phase or cellular phase. Their reproduction is by sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction or could be both. And sexual reproduction is through ascospores which are formed inside the sac-like structure as I told you earlier, the SI. And in asexual reproduction it takes place by budding and conidia. And in some species both forms are present, and where only asexual reproduction is present these forms are known as anamorphic forms. Next we are going to the habitat. Habitat means where these fungi live. They can be found in fresh water, in marine environment where salt concentration is more as compared to fresh water. They are also found in the terrestrial environment. Terrestrial means they are an important part of earth crust. They are present in the soil as well as in the air. They are present in the form of parasites. Parasites on different plants, on animals and on humans. They are saprobic. Saprobic means they get their they lives on the dead organic matter where they get their food by secreting some enzymes. These enzymes degrade the organic matter and then these simpler substances constituted by these enzymes will be uptaken by these fungi and thus their nourishment is through saprobic mode of nutrition. Some fungi live on dung of animals. These Ascomycetes fungi are known as coprophilous. Copro mean dung and philous mean loving. So they are dung loving organisms. Some of these are corticolous. Corticolous means they live on the bark of the trees. So many species are found on the bark of these trees and where they decompose the bark and get their nutrition. Some are found on the logs or wood of these trees and these are known as lignicolous fungi. Mostly lignicolous fungi lives on the dead logs while some also grows on the living trees. They are also folliculous. Folliculous means they lives on the leaves of the plants. Their habitat could be epigeous or hypogeous. Epigeous forms are those that produce their macroscopic fruiting bodies above the soil. So they can easily be seen with the naked eye without any aid. These are larger fruiting bodies and present on the soil. So they are apogeous fruiting bodies. For example, Pizzaza constitute the apogeous fruiting bodies. Morchella, a very famous fungus which is edible, constitute the fruiting bodies which are apigeous. While some are pseudo-apigeous, that is, some part is submerged in the soil, while the other part, some part is over the soil. So they could be pseudo-hypogeous too. For example, some species of Geopora, like they look like that there are pores on the earth, so the name Geopora. Some are hypogeous. Hypogeous means they produce their macroscopic fruiting bodies inside the soil, just like the tuber. You have read the name, you are familiar with the name tuber and truffles. These are hypogeous fruiting bodies of Ascomycota, and they are produced underground. So, and most of these fungi are, hypogeous fungi are edible. Some of the Ascomycetes fungi are parasites on animals. Some form ectomycorrhizal as well as other kinds of mycorrhizal association with the plants. For example, they form ericoid mycorrhiza with the member of Ericaceae, and they form ectomycorrhizal association with the trees of many families, and mostly they form mycorrhizal association with the conifers, and this association is beneficial for Ascomycetes fungi as well as for the plants, because fungi provide different types of nutrients, for example nitrogen and phosphorus as well as water to the plants, and in return they get their carbohydrates from the plants, which the plants synthesize through photosynthesis. Some of these fungi are lichenous, that is they form lichens. So lichens is an association of fungi, mostly Ascomycetes fungi, with the algae, in which blue green algae and green algae are involved. So they form lichen association, and there is a separate class, a separate group of these fungi that form lichens. We will be studying in detail these fungi in the other chapters of the course. Some are important part of plants, and these fungi lives inside the plants. So they are endophytes. So Ascomycetes fungi can be found inside the plants. These are endophytic fungi. They can be found inside the roots of the plants, where they get their nutrition from the plants, and sometimes they are helpful for the plants. The most common examples of these fungi include morels. Here you can see the picture of morels, and morels is the common name of Morchella species, and you can hear different types of Morchella, and this is the edible fungi, and it is the most expensive fungi, and in these days, that is in pre-summer days, they grow abundant in the forests, and most of these species are saprotrophic, and they get their nutrition from the dead organic matter, and they grow fruiting bodies like this. Other forms are truffles. Truffles are just like this, like the potato tubers. The genus name is also tuber. Tuber is the scientific name of truffles, and truffle is the common name that represent any globular structure. So these are truffles that belong to Ascomycota, and these are the hypogeous forms of Ascomycota. They grow inside the soil, they grow underground, and to collect these fungi, we need mostly help of other animals like dogs that can be trained with the smell of these fungi. They produce some pheromones, and the dogs detect the smell of these fungi, and then the mycologist dig the soil and get these fruiting bodies. So it is very difficult to find these fruiting bodies when they are grown inside the soil. Brewer's yeast and baker's yeast. So these are the forms of Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and these are very important in brewing industry, in baking industry. And here you can see the cellular forms of these fungi, and these are unicellular forms. Here you can see the budding. These are the bakers or brewers yeast. Different types of bakers and brewers yeast are here. The most ugliest looking Ascomycetes fungi are known as dead man's fingers. Here you can see dead man's finger. They belong to genus Xylaria, and some belong to other genera too. Mostly the members of Xylaria are commonly known as dead man's finger. Here you can see the hand of a dead man is coming out of the soil. Sometimes they grow on the wood. Here you can see it is coming from the tree trunk, and this is also the tree trunk where this fungi is growing, and some grow on the soil. Mostly they grow on the wood of the trees. They are saprobic, and they get their nutrition from the dead organic matter. Another most interesting example of these Ascomycetes fungi are the cup fungi. These are very colorful fruiting bodies of Ascomycota, and they look like the cup. So these are cup fungi, and they belong to Ascomycota. Some species of these cup fungi are edible, while other are poisonous. And some species are saprotrophic, that is their mode of nutrition is dead organic matter, and some form the mycorrhizal association with the trees. So they are mycorrhizal, mostly ectomycorrhizal, as well as saprotrophic. Now let's move towards the importance of these species belonging to phylum Ascomycota. The importance include their negative impacts as well as their positive impacts. So here we will be studying both in the importance part. They spoil cellulosic fabrics. Cellulose is the plant material, and it is composed of different types of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen compounds. These fungi grow on these fabrics and get their nutrition and degrade or decompose the fabrics. So mostly when you get the new fabric, there is a smell coming out from the fabric, and this smell is due to some chemicals that inhibit the growth of fungi on the fabrics for their long storage. So these fungi, if these fabric is not protected by the chemical, they spoil the cellulosic fabrics. Crop pathogens. Most of these species are very much dangerous for the crops. For example, Erysipphe, Phylactinia, they form different diseases on the plants. They affect timber. Timber means the wood which is used for construction, ornamental, and fruit trees. So they are very dangerous for the trees. They cause various diseases like apple scab. They grow on the apple fruit and rot the fruit. Brown rot of stone fruits, they infect the pears, and where they cause brown coloration, and they soften the fruit of these plants. They also called powdery mildews. For example, Erysipphe called the powdery mildews, as well as other species form the rust, which is known as white rust. Foot rot of cereals, like cereal crops, also infected by these fungi, where they cause diseases in the basal part of the plant. Another disease known as ear rot of corn. कॉर्न का जो सिट्टा होगा उसके ऊपर ये rotting cause करेगा. Some species form blue stain. Blue stain could be formed on any structure, these stains are found on the clothes, and these stains cannot be cleaned while washing. So these stains are also dangerous for the clothes. Ergot of rye is caused by a species Claviceps purpurea, and this Claviceps purpurea belong to Ascomycota. Claviceps purpurea has medicinal value, but if it is eaten by the animals or humans, it cause a very negative effect in when it is intaken, when it is taken in high amounts. So it is helpful in medicinal industry, as well as it is dangerous for the animals as well as humans. In humans, these fungi also cause different diseases like ringworm and athlete's foot. Some species like Fusarium can be used as biological insecticides. तो फ्यूसेरियम की कुछ ऐसी स्पीशीज हैं जो कि इंसेक्ट्स को किल करती हैं, और इनको हम एंटोमोफिलस फंजाई भी कहते हैं कि ये जो इंसेक्ट्स हैं उनको किल करती हैं. कुछ स्पीशीज ऐसी हैं जिनको हम बेकिंग और ब्रीवरी इंडस्ट्री में यूज करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल यीस्ट, सैक्रोमाइसीस को हम बेकरी और ब्रीविंग इंडस्ट्री में यूज करते हैं. इसके अलावा जो दुनिया में सबसे पहली एंटीबायोटिक डिस्कवर हुई वो पेनिसिलियम से निकली, और पेनिसिलियम से पेनिसिलिन जो डिस्कवर हुई वो सबसे पहली एंटीबायोटिक थी, और जिस साइंटिस्ट ने इसको डिस्कवर किया और इसके एक्सपेरिमेंट किए उसको नोबेल प्राइज भी मिला. तो ये जो है एंटीबायोटिक्स के लिहाज से अगर हम देखें तो एस्कोमाइकोटा में पेनिसिलियम की बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस है. इसके अलावा इन फंजाई से हम डिफरेंट किस्म के अल्कोलाइड्स एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं जिनकी आगे फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस है. कुछ ऐसी फंजाई हैं लाइक लाइकन्स, ये डिफरेंट किस्म के एसिड सिक्रीट करते हैं, और ये जो एसिड्स हैं वो ब्रीविंग या ब्रूजिंग एनिमल्स को कंट्रोल करने के लिए इस्तेमाल होते हैं. इसके अलावा जो सबसे पहला ग्रोथ हार्मोन जो हम प्लांट टिश्यू कल्चर में भी आर्टिफिशियल ग्रोथ हार्मोन यूज करते हैं, जिब्रेलिन, ये जो हार्मोन है ये फंजाई की एक फॉर्म है, जिब्रेला फ्यूजिकुरुई. इससे ये हार्मोन्स एक्सट्रैक्ट होते हैं और हम प्लांट टिश्यू कल्चर में यूज करते हैं. और कुछ ऐसी स्पीशीज हैं जो फिरोमोन्स प्रोड्यूस करती हैं जो कि एनिमल्स और इंसेक्ट्स को अट्रैक्ट करती हैं. तो इसकी भी बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस है डिफरेंट किस्म के एक्सपेरिमेंट्स में और इंडस्ट्रीज में. और जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि मॉरल्स एंड ट्रफल्स, मॉरल्स लाइक मोरकेला एंड ट्यूबर स्पीशीज आर एडिबल. तो जो सबसे ज्यादा फंजाई में एक्सपेंसिव स्पीशीज कंसिडर की जाती है वो मोरकेला एस्कुलेंटा है, और वो भी इसी ग्रुप से बिलोंग करती है. तो इसकी जो कुछ स्पीशीज हैं उन्हें हम रिसर्च में, जेनेटिक रिसर्च में मॉडल ऑर्गेनिज्म के तौर पे यूज करते हैं. तो उसकी एग्जांपल आ जाती है न्यूरोस्पोरा क्रेसा. इसके अलावा कुछ और भी स्पीशीज हैं जो कि जेनेटिक स्टडीज में यूज होती हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल एस्परजिलस, सैक्रोमाइसीस एंड शाइजोसैक्रोमाइसीस. तो ये हो गया एस्कोमाइकोटा की इंपॉर्टेंस के बारे में थोड़ा सा अकाउंट. अब हम चलते हैं एस्कोमाइकोटा के थैलस की तरफ. तो थैलस जो है, यहाँ पे एस्कोमाइकोटा का जो थैलस होगा वो हम फ्रूटिंग बॉडीज को कंसिडर करेंगे, और ये जो फ्रूटिंग बॉडीज हैं इनमें मोस्टली जो हैं वो मैक्रोस्कोपिक फ्रूटिंग बॉडीज हैं. लेकिन कुछ ऐसे ऑर्गेनिज्म हैं जो कि माइक्रोस्कोपिक फ्रूटिंग बॉडीज प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, लेकिन वो प्रॉपर सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन के बाद फ्रूटिंग बॉडीज बनती हैं. तो अभी हम इन सब फ्रूटिंग बॉडीज को वन बाय वन डिस्कस करेंगे. तो सबसे पहले हम देखते हैं ये ए फॉर्म. तो ए जो है वो जिम्नोथीशियम है. Gymnothecium is made up of branched hyphae which do not completely enclose the SI. तो इसके अंदर क्या होगा कि जैसे आप ये देख सकते हैं ये जो हाइफी हैं ये लूजली अरेंज्ड है, इन्होंने कोई भी एक कंपैक्ट लेयर नहीं बनाई हुई इस फ्रूटिंग बॉडी के इर्द गिर्द. तो इसके अंदर ये जो एसआई प्रेजेंट है ये कंप्लीटली एनक्लोज नहीं है कोई भी एक बाउंड्री के अंदर. तो अगर हम इसको विजुअलाइज करें तो हमें ऊपर से भी इसकी एक्सटर्नल सरफेस से भी एसआई नजर आएंगे. तो इसे हम कहते हैं जिम्नोथीशियम, जिसमें हाइफी, एक्सटर्नल हाइफी लूजली अरेंज्ड होंगे, एसआई जो है वो कंप्लीटली एनक्लोज्ड स्ट्रक्चर में प्रेजेंट नहीं होंगे. तो इसको हम कहेंगे जिम्नोमाइसीस. और इसकी एग्जांपल्स में आ जाता है जो स्पीशीज इस तरह की फ्रूटिंग बॉडीज प्रोड्यूस करती हैं वो बिलोंग करती हैं डिफरेंट ग्रुप से. फॉर एग्जांपल यूरेशियोमाइसीड्स, जिसका दूसरा नाम टेलेरोमाइसीस भी है. इसके बाद नेक्स्ट फॉर्म आ जाती है, हम बी की तरफ चलते हैं. बी इज द क्लिस्टोथीशियम. Clistothecium is the fruiting bodies in which SI are completely enclosed in the ascocarp. There is no opening. Here you can see the external wall in which the hyphae are compactly arranged, and this wall is present all over just like the ball, and the SI are present inside this ball. There is no any opening, so this is called the Clistothecium. So these Clistothecia are produced by Pizizomycetes in genus tuber. You have seen just the tuber like structure. the truffles. These are the enclosed fruiting bodies, and other species also produce these type of fruiting bodies. For example, the members of Leishmaniasis, where the Ericyphe is an important genus. You already read its life cycle in Diversity of Plants course. Also, the Penicillium produce such type of fruiting bodies. Now we are going towards the C. C is the fruiting bodies known as apothecia. Apothecia is an open cup-like structure where the Si are present inside the opening. Like the inner part of the cup is composed of Si and paraphysis. Paraphysis are sterile cells, while the Si bear these spores. So the spores are present inside these Si, and they are alternate with the other sterile cells. So the inner lining is known as hymenium and the outer is known as excipulum. So the outer wall of the cup is known as the outer boundary or excipulum, and the inner is known as hymenium, and this constitute a apothecium, which is cup-like structure. So the genus Pisiza constitute these types of fruiting bodies. Next, we are going towards the pseudothecium. We are going towards the D. D is the perithecium. Perithecium with a layer of Si at the base. It opens by a pore known as ostule. So here is the small opening. You are watching here. It is known as ostule, and this is the flask-like structure where Si arise from the base of this flask-like structure. So this type of fruiting bodies are exhibited by the members of Ductidiomacetes, and the older name of this class was Loculoascomycetes. This is another fruiting body of the as members of Ascomycota, which is known as pseudothecium. The Si are found within the locules or cavities. In the pseudoparenchymatous ascostroma. Pseudoparenchymatous means these are not true parenchyma cells. Parenchyma cells are globular cells that that can be differentiated from the pseudoparenchymatous cells or the plectenchymatous cells. Plectenchymatous cells are in the form of filaments, while the pseudoparenchymatous cells are not true globular in shape. So these are pseudo parenchymatous cells which are not globular, and these are the intermediate forms of parenchyma and plectenchyma cells. So these Si are present in the cavity known as locule. So this type of fruiting body is also exhibited by the members of the Dothidiomycetes. So this is all about the types of thallus, and this is very important part of the syllabus, and we will be studying in detail the two groups in our syllabus, Ericyphales and Pizizales, where we will be studying the details about the Christothecia and Apothecia. This is the classification scheme, and this classification scheme I have made using the book from our syllabus, Webster and Weber 2007. The 2007 classification is reliable, but it is not based on the recent molecular techniques. Here I can tell you about some other names of these groups, which are, for example, Loculoascomycetes is represented by the name Dothidiomycetes nowadays, and the name Discomycetes is replaced in recent studies as Pizizomycetes. So we can just introduce I will just introduce these names so that you can familiar with these names. I have already told you in the previous lecture that my seeds represent the class, and class is the larger rank of the orders. So Archaeascomycetes includes these different orders, and Tephranales, it is very important order that for example a species Tephrina deformis is a member of this order, and it causes peach leaf curl. So most of these member of these groups are plant pathogens and parasites. Hemiascomycetes include different types of yeast and candida species. and they contain a low amount of chitin, and Archaeascomycetes contains very low amount of chitin in their cell wall. Plectomycetes, the species like the Penicillium and Aspergillus species, mostly the anamorphic stages, were previously belonged to this group. Plectomyces and another group, Hemiascomycetes, Hymenoascomycetes. The members include in this group produce a complete fertile layer where the SI are aligned. So they are known as Hymenoascomycetes, where hymenium is present. The other name of this group is Pyrenomycetes, and it includes several orders. Ericypales also belong to this order, and in our syllabus Pizizales also belong to this class. Pizizales includes the operculate discomycetes. So in the book Webster, the name discomycetes is used, where it is then divided into two categories: operculate discomycetes and inoperculate discomycetes. In recent classification, the operculate discomycetes named as Pizizomycetes, and the inoperculate discomycetes named as Leishomycetes. So we will be discussing about the operculum in the next lecture, when we will be studying in detail the order Pizizales and the genus Pizziza. Loculoascomycetes is now named as Dothidiomycetes. Uh, and this is not included in our syllabus, so we will not be discussing this group in detail. This is all about the Ascomycota, its general characters, its important, and classification into different classes and orders. Thank you very much.